Donnie and Dolly, the team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
Okay, band name update. We're hoping to get that in somewhere in the next hour. Today's guest, including John Shannon. It's been busy, including John Shannon standing by. Brought to you by Optic Foliar. The only lights-on spray with no damage and no burning to your plant leaves. Plant efficiency, nutrition, and results all combined into a single solution for all stages of growth and safe to use on flowers. Spray it, see it, believe it. That's Optic Foliar. Used it on your Dieffenbachia the other day. Visit this made in BC company online at opticfoliar.ca as we bring in NHL analyst, co-host of the Bob McCowan podcast, John Shannon. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, boys. Boy, Brent Seabrook sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty happy.
Yeah, he really does. He sounds like somebody who could have a coaching future if he wants.
Yeah, and it's interesting because, with all due respect to players of Brent's ilk, they have a lot of money.
Yes,
and do they really need to do anything? And it's one, if they have a passion for the game, good for him. It's also great to see that, with everything that happened, he moved back home.
Yeah.
Isn't that great? So
I know what I'd be doing with all that money, and it wouldn't be working here.
So
there's that.
It would be owning this place.
Yeah. Leafs, as much as we hate to talk about the Leafs, we're going to do it here, John. It's very, very impressive. 8-3 over Colorado. I know the Avs have some goaltending issues, but 8-3 over Colorado. Toronto, first place overall. They've won 15 of 17. What are the main reasons for all that success?
Well, first of all, Jack Campbell has been spectacular. Mm-hmm. If at the quarter pole you had to give an MVP award, it wouldn't be Matthews, it wouldn't be Tavares, it wouldn't be Morgan Riley, it would be Jack Campbell. He's been that good. And quite frankly, I think he's put himself on the radar for the U.S. Olympic team. Mm-hmm. And may, at this point, may even be the starter when you consider how Connor Hellebuck's year has gone and John Gibson's year has gone, although Gibson's been pretty damn good for Anaheim. But Campbell's certainly part of what's happened. The other thing is that there has been a huge buy-in from the Maple Leafs for team defense. And what you're seeing is seeing guys like Matthews and Tavares and Marner be part of the defensive zone and helping get the puck out. It's really quite fascinating to watch. This team is playing complete. Are they playing physical? Are they playing playoff hockey? Not yet. And so they can win 15 of 17, 5 more times, Donnie. But if they don't understand how to play playoff hockey, this town will still erupt.
So is that the one glaring weakness, John, that they have right now, or are there others?
Well, right now it's difficult to find a weakness. The bottom 6 forwards 3 weeks ago might have been a discussion point, but Andre Kasha, who's injured right now, has been great. And they have 2 young defensemen in Sandin and Liljegren playing on the blue line that have impressed greatly. They, to your point, they were both draft picks, and they took time to develop at the AHL level, but they are now contributing, and it's really quite impressive.
John, over to the Canucks we go. A couple of wins back-to-back in your area there, back east, but a lot of the talk about the futures of Jim Benning and Travis Green. Are you hearing any names? Dale Talon, Jim Rutherford, we've heard all that stuff, but anything you're hearing of late connected to the Canucks?
I think, it sounds like things have gone stealth, really, Rick, in so many ways. I'm not even sure that there's 100% agreement that something has to happen, and perhaps that's the first thing that has to be discussed within the Aquilini group. Is change important? Is change imminent? We talked last week that this road trip, this 5-game road trip, they're not better than Columbus right now. They're not better than Boston, and they're not better than Pittsburgh. So they lost those 3, but if they weren't better than Montreal and weren't better than Ottawa, then there would be a major issue. Well, They were barely better than Montreal, and then Ottawa. They looked like the team that we thought could play most of the season this way. So they did what they had to do on this road trip to survive at this point. But I don't know what's more, and I think that it's still in the next 2 weeks. I think we're still going to figure out what the heck's going to go on.
John, I was talking to Elliot Friedman this morning. We were talking about the Vancouver market, volatile, all that stuff, Kevin up. But what are your thoughts when it comes to the Vancouver market, the reputation around the league?
Second toughest market in Canada. Most critical, most demanding. Critical is a tough word. Most demanding, and comes with that. I think when it comes to Canuck hockey, probably the most informed, and they go hand in hand. And it's something that when you enter the market, you have to be aware of. And really, in my opinion, there are two markets in that upper echelon in our country, and that's Montreal and Vancouver. And then everything else pales in comparison.
Yeah, I would agree. Hey, getting back to the Canucks, John, one name that's been bandied about, tossed about over the last couple of days around here is Scott Mellanby. What's his reputation around the league as an executive?
It's interesting. I've known Scott since he was 7 years old.
I bet, yeah.
I worked for his dad for many years. Scott is first of all, he's got a great eye for talent. He does have an ambition to be a manager. Obviously, did have some time around the Canucks organization when Mike was there. And he's a very good evaluator of talent. And I think what we learned about Scott this week has a level of integrity that says, listen, if you don't think I'm good enough to do the job, then I'm not going to be here. And that's why the resignation occurred, because when he was told he wasn't going to be part of the answer, it just didn't make any sense for Scott to be around. Scott will be back in the game sooner than later. Where that will be is another question.
Same with Mark Bergevin? Getting another
Good question.
job?
I don't know. That's an interesting one. And I've been told as late as yesterday that Mark definitely wants to be back in the game, but doesn't want the hot seat anymore. Wants to get back into that world of player personnel. The jobs that his friend Rick Dudley had. That a lot of people. I mean, when Scotty took a break, went back as a player personnel guy for the Penguins. But Mark wants to be in the game, but I'm not sure he wants to be on the hot seat anymore.
You mentioned, John, knowing Scott Mellanby since he was 7. We could do 2 hours with you on Hockey Night in Canada, couldn't we? Working with Ralph Mellanby and others from back in the day.
Yes, we could. I'm not sure that any of the viewers would be very interested other than the people in the television world, but there are lots of stories and lots of personalities. And the great thing is that this is my 45th year in the industry, Donnie. And most of those people are still friends, if they're still alive. Most of those people are still friends, which is great to see. And by the way, Brian Williams retired today. Did you see that?
I heard that.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Brian Williams, another guy that I met in the 70s, and he had a huge impact on our country, doing his Olympics, doing the CFL, and did a marvelous job at both the CBC and CTV.
Such a nice person, and so are you. Thanks so much, John. Appreciate it.
Hey, have a great weekend, folks. And hey, listen, kid, we don't hear the news very much, but we got our fingers and toes crossed for everything that's going on in the Fraser Valley and around the province.
Yeah.
It's still you're not. Unfortunately, in what I read, we're not out of the woodwork yet. So.
Yeah, not even close. Nice day today, though, John. At least so far.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Thanks so much. You bet.